Welcome to Let's Preview, and this is going to be the Let's Preview for the Leicester game in the Cup, the Carabao Cup, or whatever it is called. You know what? I think it's Capital One Cup makes more sense to me, but instead, looks like it's going to be called the Carabao Cup, and that is just how it is. So it's going to be Leicester versus Liverpool. We are going to be travelling to Leicester. Jurgen Klopp is currently doing his press conference right now, so I'm going to be picking up on some quotes and such that are going to come out of that one. And one of those ones, obviously because I'm going to be looking at lineup, one of those ones that's come out in the last 10 minutes is Danny Ward will be starting in goal against Leicester. Now, my thoughts on that are, okay, fair enough. I've not seen a great deal of Danny Ward when he was on loan last season. He apparently did very well. He was quite good and got through a penalty shootout, I think it was. Now, I can't remember if he was at loan on loan at Huddersfield, is what I was meant to say. If it was Huddersfield or not, I cannot actually remember. That's quite bad of me, to be fair. But if so, it sounds like he did quite well there, and he's obviously going to get some shots in the Cup. Now, I had actually previously restarted recording a Let's Preview for this just as the press conference was going to happen, and was going for Lloris Karius and stuff like that, and then completely forgot we had Danny Ward. So that's quite bad on my part as well, but it looks like he's going to get a shot, and you know what? I'm for that. I am. He's a young goalkeeper, looks like he could be a very good prospect, and let's give him a shot. I'm absolutely for that. Now, obviously, if he's looking in terms of rotation now, which it looks like it could be pretty severe rotation by the looks of it, if he's going for Danny Ward, not Karius, then we could be throwing up some curveballs here, so it's going to be quite difficult to predict, I think. Left back, I'm not sure actually now. Do we go with Andrew Robertson, who just played a couple of days ago? In my opinion, I would, because he hasn't had much of a shot recently. But other than that, you've got Moreno. He didn't play. Does he play? Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. You never really know the inner workings of Jurgen Klopp ahead of a team selection, so it's quite difficult to predict what he's actually thinking. The same kind of goes for the centre-backs. What is he going to put forward in terms of centre-backs? Is he going to bring someone up from the youth squad or something like that? I actually don't know. It's one of those. He really could. He could pull a curveball out of anywhere. But I'm going to go with what I think might be completely different. So obviously we know we're starting with Danny Ward. I'm going to go with Andrew Robertson at left back because I think he deserves a shot. I think he did okay. He didn't really do a great deal wrong against Burnley. I think he could have been tighter to Clavan. But to be fair, the defensive unit was too far over when we conceded the goal for Burnley. They were far too close together, focusing on one point, focusing rather far too much on the players that were around them instead of where the ball actually was and where it could have gone. They weren't really perceiving the dangers that could have happened, and that's exactly how they got their goal. Yes, there was a gap between Robertson and Clavan, but to be fair, Robertson was still in his position. He was on the left-hand side. He was covering what he should have been doing. It was the defenders, the two centre-backs, that weren't doing the jobs that they should have. So now we come on to the centre-backs themselves, and I think you've got to go with, I don't know. It's really difficult. It really is difficult. It's difficult to come up with a lineup that doesn't have Matip in it, but I'm going to say it. It's not going to have Matip in it. So who are we going to put in our centre-backs? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm going to give you some names, though, because I'm not just going to leave it there like I don't know and just leave it. I'm going to try and go with, I think it's going to be Lovren and Joe Gomez. I do. I think he's going to give Gomez a shot at centre back, and I think you're going to see Alexander-Arnold at right back, unless he brings in Flanagan. That could be another one. Flanagan could be someone that comes in, and then Alexander-Arnold will be ready to go at the weekend, which again will be against Leicester. And we're going to need to do well in that game as well because of where we are right now, our situation in the Premier League. It's not that bad, it's not that good. It's like purgatory. It's in between. So at the moment, we're going into the midfield. Now, one of the other quotes that have just come out in the last 5 minutes regarding midfielders is Marko, Grujic and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain will be starting, confirmed. So Oxlade-Chamberlain will be getting his shot in the centre mid. Now, obviously, a lot of Arsenal fans and such like that are taking the piss out of Oxlade-Chamberlain and saying, oh, he went there for more minutes and he's only getting in on the bench. I'd said when we signed him that he was going to struggle to get into our starting 11. This is his chance. He's going to get started in the centre mid where he's wanted to play for so many years. He's going to get his starting berth, and now he's going to have to take that chance and take it by the neck and absolutely run with it as far as he can, because if he doesn't perform, he's back on the bench and he's back to being used as a utility player. That is literally the be-all and end-all. So, I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? He's going to get his starting berth. By the sounds of it, it's going to be next to Marko Grujic. Now, I'm a fan of Marko Grujic and have been for a long time. He just needs to keep that temperament in check, in my opinion. I think he's far too prone to getting yellow cards, and he's far too prone as well to going close to a red card as well. The positives with Grujic is that he can drive through the midfield in similar ways, not as good as, but in similar ways like Emre Can does. And that is going to be really good as well, hopefully going forward. That'll be excellent. So hopefully that'll be quite good. He's good at trying to score screamers. He seems to love doing it. He scored quite a few in pre-season. He scored quite a few goals last pre-season as well and didn't really feature because he had injuries and such like that as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing Grujic. I'm looking forward to seeing Chamberlain in a starting role in the centre mid and see what he can actually bring to us. I just don't think he's been given much of a shot lately, but this is going to be his chance. Now, other than that, I'm just going to do a quick refresh here, and there hasn't been any further information regarding people starting. So now it's purely going to be prediction and guesswork. So, do we start Coutinho? Probably not. No way. Mainly because he'll probably be kept fresh for the Leicester game and the Premier League. And the same will probably go for the likes of Mohamed Salah and maybe even Firmino. Now, I don't think that they will start, but they will certainly feature from the bench. Now, the reason for that is, and I'm only predicting that because he's saying there's going to be wholesale changes and he's expecting both teams to make wholesale changes. I'm not expecting Leicester to make that many changes, if I'm being honest. I think they're going to want to be going out and wanting to make a cup run and win a cup this season. So this would be a good opportunity for them to do that. I don't know how deep Leicester's squad is, but they've got some quality first-team players. I just don't think they've been performing very well of late. So we've got to be wary of that one. Now, obviously, if I'm taking those sorts of players out, who is going to be starting? Well, we've got two players in the midfield so far. Now, you could see Milner come in the midfield, and you see Oxlade-Chamberlain taking a bit more of a forward role. Obviously, he's got the pace. He's got some good technique as well. He's got good footwork. It's his finishing that lets him down. Or you're going to see that maybe, is it going to be more of a flat back? Is it going to be more of a flat three in the middle? I have no idea. Who else have we got in midfield that we can use? Well, you got Henderson. Is Henderson going to start because he didn't start at the weekend? It's possible. It's entirely possible. Emre Can? Possible. But I think we're going to go with Wijnaldum because he's got first-team experience and we're going to need someone with first-team experience who works hard in that midfield along with the two that haven't so far in Marko Grujic and Oxlade-Chamberlain. So my midfield, if we're going with a 4-3-3, is going to be Oxlade-Chamberlain, Grujic, which are confirmed anyway, and it'll be Wijnaldum. Emre Can and Henderson will probably be saved for the weekend along with Coutinho. Now then we're going to get onto that front line. Straight ahead, we're going for the striker. In my opinion, it'll be Dominic Solanke because I think he deserves a shot. I put a load of tweets out at the weekend talking about this sort of thing, how you look at Gabriel Jesus, 20 years old, doing bits for Man City alongside Aguero. He's alongside a world-class striker, but he can do it on his own as well. So he's doing really well. You look at Marcus Rashford at Man United. He's had an impact since Van Gaal was there. He practically saved the season for them, and he's doing really well for them. He can play out wide. He plays as a striker. It doesn't matter. He's a danger man, and he gets minutes, and he does make a difference for that team. You look at Harry Kane. He was 21 when he became a first-team starter for Tottenham, and look at where he's gone now. Dominic Solanke, 14th of September, literally just turned 20 years old. The guy deserves a shot. He's been touted as someone that's quite close to being like a Harry Kane sort of model. However, he does have a little bit more pace. He's got very good feet, and this is certainly not taking anything away from Harry Kane. He's a class striker. I'm not comparing the two now. Dominic Solanke's got good feet. He's got a very physical presence, which will only build as he gets older. He's very good at holding the ball up. He can use that ball as well, though. He's not just a target man. If you get that ball to feet, he can use it. He can get shots off. He was the closest player at the weekend against Burnley to scoring the winning goal in the box. It was a very awkward one, very awkward shot. He maybe could have took it with his head, but it came at him so fast, he reacted and he hit the bar. Look, the guy was trying, and he was the closest person to doing it for us. He's got to be given a shot. He has to be given a shot. There's no idea. If we start with someone like Sturridge, I just think it's going to be a lackadaisical front line, and we're going to see a lot more frustration like we did with Burnley. And that's not slagging Sturridge off. I just don't think he's got it anymore. I think Sturridge is pretty much almost officially done at Liverpool, and I don't think he'll be a Liverpool player come next year. Now, we're going to go onto those wider positions, and the wider positions is where it throws up maybe a couple more questions. Now, if anybody did see, Lazar Markovic, I think he's still with Liverpool, and he did get named in the 25-man squad for the Premier League and for this season. So he could feature in a wider role, having someone else who's got pace in the team. He is quite a technical player as well. He's had a couple of bad years. You know, he's been on loan a lot. He hasn't had very successful loan periods either. He went off to Hull last season, and he showed bits and pieces of what he can do, and he's still quite a young player. I think he's still only 23, maybe 24, something like that. He's in and around the same age as Sadio Mane and such like that as well. He could be used out wide, and that would be absolutely fine. That would be no problem. He might be the only person that we've got as well, because Sadio Mane, he's actually still banned. So his ban will still run until Leicester at the weekend. So he's not going to be freed then. Then we've also got the likes of Mohamed Salah. Now, is Salah going to play in this game? I said earlier on in the video that perhaps I would expect that he wouldn't, but maybe he will. And if he does, you'd have Salah on the right-hand side, and you'd maybe have Markovic on the left-hand side. Now, people will probably be like, whoa, Markovic? Are you being serious? We've got to come at this as Klopp is wanting to make rotations, and normally when he wants to rotate, and he's saying he's wanting to rotate, he makes wholesale changes throughout the whole team, such as like Danny Ward starting in goal. So I would expect the unexpected with this one, and I am going to go with the fact that he'll start Lazar Markovic, and maybe it'll be a good one for him to get into. It's a cup game. I would love for us to go on a cup run and actually, do something, maybe win a cup this season. I don't really care what cup it is. But I think we could do it, and why not start it off in style? And you could get someone like that, get him a little bit of confidence if he plays well. Who knows? There could be a whole change of system here as well. Who knows what's happening with Danny Ings? Danny Ings could also be in with a shout, but I don't think so. I think he's still rehabilitating. I don't know if he's past the rehabilitation stage. He's been playing some games, got brought off in for caution at the weekend. In the under 23s or something like that, but apparently he's not actually re-injured himself. So could he be up for selection? I don't know. Maybe. It'd be nice if he was, because then you could possibly do a change of system. You could still go with Dominic Solanke up top, but have Danny Ings with him. Then you've got someone who's got pace. He's got good finishing with him as well. Probably needs to work on it as well, because he hasn't really played consistent football in the last 2 years. But then you've also got a big man with him as well, who can not only, he's not like an Andy Carroll who's just going to hold the ball up or want the ball to the chest, to the head or anything like that. He can take it to feet and he can work really well. It could be a good combination if we decide to change system and maybe play a different striker with him. Who knows? You may see Solanke and Sturridge or something like that. I don't know. There's so many options that we could do in terms of system and players, but take all of that together, because I've kind of forgotten what I said, and that would be my predicted lineup. Okay, so apologies for that one. I do remember. Let's go through it actually. Solanke, Lazar Markovic. I'm going to say Salah's in. I'm going to say Salah's in because he's been performing quite well, and I think he'll get the nod on this one and maybe rested at the weekend. I don't know. Probably not actually. He'll probably play at the weekend as well. He just seems to be a player that's up for it all the time. Midfield. Who do we go with? Wijnaldum, Oxlade-Chamberlain and Grujic. Those two are definitely going to be starting as well. Then we go through the right-back situation. Now, I'm going to go with it and go with Flanagan. We're going to go with Joe Gomez at centre-back. And then we're going to have... Who was it? I think Lovren, was it? Lovren or Clavan? Lovren or Clavan, whichever one it'll be, because we don't actually have that many options. I'm going to go with Robertson at left-back, and obviously it's going to be Danny Ward in goal. So, if you like the sound of that, hit that like button if you agree with it. What is your lineup, obviously with the confirmed ones in there as well? What is your lineup around those players that have been confirmed? Let me know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, please let me know it in the comments below. Like the video as well. Also, score prediction. I think it's going to be 2-1 Liverpool. I think it's going to be tight, but I think we'll win. Anyway, almost forgot that bit. Thanks for watching this video so much. I absolutely value every single one of you that watches these videos, that subscribes as well, and likes the videos. Thanks ever so much for watching, as always, and I will catch you later.